Well, hello. It's something very different because this is totally unplanned. These are post-it notes on my fireplace. I just thought I'd go live because there's so much new life coming through everybody. And I think it's time to be really spontaneous, to not think too much. As you know, I teach lunar cycles and the energies of each moon cycle. And this one is Aries. It's all about being really vulnerable and open and joyful and innocent. And I thought, well, there you go, just do it. So I apologize if I've got food in my teeth because I just had my lunch. But my intention for this live, and I think maybe even someone sat there watching, so I rarely do this, but I thought I'd just pop in and say my intention for making this live is to let you know a little bit more about what is going on this channel. I'm Julie and I live in Ibiza in the Balearic Islands, and it's my mission and purpose to open people, usually particularly women, but everybody, to align their lives with the lunar cycles and to allow ourselves to grow and blossom like the flowers, the plants, the animals, because there's so much waiting for us in terms of ease and flow if we can start living in this receptive mode rather than the consumption mode. So I thought I'd just share this live just to let you know that's my intention. It's early days in knowing exactly what kind of content I'll be creating, but I think it's going to be a little bit more based upon my life behind the scenes of creating the lunar cycle sort of teaching videos. It's a little bit about, well, actually, what does that look like when you're living it? What does it look like to be living a life following the lunar cycles and not following a linear life, a normal life? What does it look like? How do you earn money? How do you think? How do you plan your life? How do you think of a pension when you're kind of off grid? Okay, I've got electricity, but off grid in terms of I don't have a paid job, I don't have a pension, I don't have a mortgage, and I live very much in the moment and in the flow. That's not always easy, but it's fun. It feels like a calling. It feels very passionate. And even though I go through really, really challenging, especially financial times, I wouldn't swap it, because if I wanted to, I could swap it, but I don't swap it. So hello, if somebody's there with me. It's a very unexpected live session today, just to let you know that I will be doing this a little bit more often, sharing live. Maybe some of them will be pre-recorded, sharing some of my friends' lives as we all come out of lockdown this year. We all live on a tourist island here, obviously. So a lot of people are dependent upon tourists coming to sell their wares. I'm very intuitive. So a few years ago, I cut myself off from earning an income in Ibiza and I put all my work online. I'd been giving one-to-one intuitive coaching and guidance sessions online on the island for several years, for about 10 years. And then I just started to see the retreat industry become quite corporate, a little bit too marketing based, a bit too neat and tidy. And it didn't seem to resonate with the life that I thought we were trying to share, which was about nature and having time, needing less, having more intimacy in our lives in terms of, the genuine, vulnerable, open connection with other people and supporting each other. So I stopped working with retreats because it just felt, it's not like I was working with aggressive people, but it started to feel like the corporate world, which I think is a bit competitive. You've got directors, you've got the balance sheet, you've got to make profit. It just didn't feel right to me anymore. And actually, we were being told all the time we would be paid less every year because their costs were going up. So it just felt not the path I wanted to take. So in cutting myself from that income, I kind of forced myself to create my own body of work. So I took everything online and I started teaching coaching online, doing oracle readings online, which is what I had been doing only in person before. And I created 2 online programs as well, which most of those people that I'd previously met followed me, went on those journeys with me online, and yeah, to a certain extent changed their lives as well. What then happened about 2 years ago is that I started to recognize that as a coach, I was very good at coaching other people and taking them through journeys, but I was hitting a block in my personal life. I was just devoted to helping other people. And when it came to receiving my own shift in my personal life, I was blocked. So over the last 2 years, I'd say I'd started to have to drop my walls, to look at my own life like I was able to look at others, which I think most coaches and guides would admit they're very good at what they do because they kind of need someone to do it to them. So we can see things in others because it's a reflection of things that are going on in us. So I started to take down my walls, develop deeper friendships. I was able to get a lot more vulnerable and honest with friends and say, you know what, I'm not all that. I'm not coping very well. I don't want to do some of the work I'm doing because at some level I now feel fake because I'm not happy underneath. So how can I coach other people? And in doing that, I really, really started to earn a lot less money. And that, as anyone who's ever lived a less money life, it forces you to get very creative and to value things again. And I think ultimately, this whole journey of moving to Ibiza was my intention really was to live a more simple life, but money just kept, I kept being magnetized to money and making money, and I'd be surrounded by people that were able to make money. So I was working at the retreats, earning a lot of money. Then it felt inauthentic, so I stepped back. Then I was faced with less money. My online programs made money, and then that felt like it's all about money again. How do us humans keep getting caught up in this rat race and then not focusing on our health, our genuine state of mind, our peace of mind? So I got into yoga more. I lost a lot of weight. I started living a ketogenic lifestyle, following a lady in New Zealand called Deborah Murtaugh. So I completely then started to take care of myself. But I have had and still have a lot less money. So I've had to even ask friends for help, drop my prices, really, really open up and be vulnerable, which as a past sort of corporate woman myself, that's been really hard. So I'm picking up on the change I've made over the last 2 years. Having been in Ibiza for 13 years, it's only the last 2 years that I've really faced the big transformation within myself. Not so much focusing on other people. It's like, be the change, actually be the change. So these videos are going to be a sharing of what that looks like, of how I'm getting goosebumps, how I actually survive without a specific plan, without a goal, without a marketing strategy. It's like, how do I actually survive this crazy thing called life? How do I deal with, which I do get, anxiety? How did the lockdown affect that? So yeah, I don't know how it's going to go, but this is me behind the butterfly airways front door, if you like. This is going to be my behind the scenes actual me. This is me becoming a butterfly. I was a caterpillar. I built a big cocoon around myself called success, image, business. I thought that I was breaking that down when I came to Ibiza, but I kept perpetuating that cocoon life, focusing on money, attached to money, still not being completely authentic with myself. And then the last 2 years I've gone, whoa, I haven't got the energy for that. My values are much too authentic now. I can't retain that cocoon life. So I had to break down the caterpillar inside. It's very metaphorical. I'm sure it resonates. This story will resonate and repeat in many people's lives. And now I'm learning to be the butterfly. I'm strengthening my apparent wings, learning to live in a completely different way, still benefit from my nature, my gifts, but be focusing on living life instead of earning a living. This is about living an authentic life that I love, with people that I love, that I enjoy, and that I have time for, and that it's about sharing and spreading that love and that joy. And yeah, that's my intention. Didn't want this to be very long. Somebody's with me throughout most of that, so thank you for listening, because this is very off plan, off piste. So thank you. I'll be back. I think, once a week to share the journey so far. This is just an introduction. If you want to know anything about what I've talked about, and you want to ask me a theme that you'd like me to talk about, let me know, because this is a co-creation together. And let's fly from there. Let's get our cocoon off. Let's be honest. We're coming out of this giant human global cocoon. It's time to be not running back to what we were doing before. It's time to run forwards into our innocence. This is very Aries new moon energy, which was yesterday. Run into our innocent life. We don't go running back just to get stuff from the shops. What are we running towards? What has this last year shown us about life? What is it we really value? Do we need all that money? If we don't buy for comfort, if we really are focusing on each other and our love and joy and connection, is it not about hugs rather than Uggs? I've just made that up. Not that I'm knocking Ugg boots, but you know what I mean. So that's me. Thank you very much. I will try and clean all these post-it notes up, but I'm a very ideas-driven person. So there's usually a post-it note or a vision board behind me. I've been working with my vision board today on this new opening. So let me know if you're into vision boards, if you've ever created one, and maybe we'll do one together one day. Thank you very much. Mwah! See you soon. Lots of love. Bye.